and taking a measured move from the bottom of this handle right there, and that would actually get you that target, which worked out beautifully before a pullback. What's up guys, Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. In today's video, we're going to go through a variety of altcoins and take a look at what their prices would be if Bitcoin were to retrace back up to the 50% retracement around 42,000. Hope you enjoy and let's kick it off. Alright, welcome to the channel guys, and big thank you to all that like and subscribe, and let's kick it off. So looking at the Bitcoin price chart on the monthly time frame, we can see we've had a fat candle thus far for the month of January and beginning the new year of 2023. And this candle closes in 2 days. Now zooming into this bad boy, we can see this candle has been very powerful. I do not see a wick down below under that 17K level, but we can see a monthly candle on the body thus far over 40%. Now working our way down to the weekly time frame and just zooming out a bit, we can see Bitcoin since its all-time high November of 2021 around 69K crashed roughly 77%. Since its low at 15,400, we have pushed over 50%. Now on the macro, we can see we backtested previous levels or the previous all-time high during the last cycle. We also fell a little bit lower to grab additional liquidity. It's great to see we had such a strong bounce, and I know crypto Twitter is feuding between this being a crazy bull trap or just a beautiful retracement or Bitcoin going towards an all-time high. Once again, anything is possible in this market, whether you believe that this is a bull trap and we crash and double bottom, create a new low, or we have a year of retracements in a deflationary market. I'm not interested in selling my altcoins when Bitcoin is at these lows. If we create another low, I'm not interested in selling my altcoins. That is when I'm accumulating. I'll consider taking more profits when Bitcoin actually retraces to some key levels, and I'm using 42K as an example, and I'll show you why. Now zooming all the way out, we're going to start back with one of the earlier cycles in the bottom back in 2015. So I just want to point out, drawing a Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low or the bottom of the Bitcoin bear market. Bitcoin did a full cup and handle retracement all the way up to the 50% retracement. Came back down, once it faced the 50%, it got the show on the road, and the next bull run began. Now going back to one of our more recent cycles during the 2018-2019 bottom, we can see the same Fibonacci retracement, swing high, swing low. We retrace up to the 50%. On the weekly basis, multiple candle bodies and even a wick going up to the 618. We can see 1 wick, 2 wick, 3 wicks above the 50% retracement. But basically, weekly candle bodies 1, 2, 3, 4 are closing and opening around that level. Now you can see we did a crash again below the 236, and once we got up to that 50% retracement level, breaking through 11K, it also began the next cycle. And that's when Bitcoin went on to create another all-time high price. Coincidentally, during the halving in May 2020 as well. Now if we were to assume and draw another Fibonacci retracement on this most recent structure over the past year, let me remove this Fibonacci so we can get a clear view of this. Now if we were to assume and draw another swing high to the swing low, wick to wick, and just go all the way across, what do we see for the Fibonacci retracement? We can see the 50% Fibonacci retracement is around 42,000 for Bitcoin. So looking at a variety of cycles, the 50% here, even all the way back since the 2015 bottom, the 50% retracement is not only common, it is a very important level. Sometimes we hit and blast right through, creating a new high, or we hit that level, reject it, and eventually when we challenge it again, it's make or break. And when we break through, we can typically get a very strong rally, creating new highs in the market. So for this video, I'm going to go through a few alts and discuss the market capitalization for a variety of altcoins during April of 2022, around this level when Bitcoin was between 39K to even 42,000, around the 50% retracement. Now we've seen Bitcoin push up over 50%, and there's been a variety of alts that have pushed over 100%, 200%, or even over 400%, which is a 5x from this recent low. And now there's other altcoins that are maybe up 30%, 50%, or just a tad more. And I believe with the Bitcoin retracement, there's a variety of altcoins that can play catch up with this market and go significantly higher. So what we'll do initially before I show you the spreadsheet is we're going to go up to cryptocurrencies, click historical snapshots, and then look at all the data for the years before, 2022, and we're just going to click April 17th across the board. So now we have the market capitalization, the prices on this specific day, and the circulating supply for a variety of assets. We can see XRP was at 75 cents. Now for simplicity, I'm going to compare the April 2022 data to January or just last week. I have the spreadsheet in a few altcoins. We have Alliance Block, Algorand, API3, AVAX, Bitcoin, Cardano, Casper, Chainlink, Constellation, Cosmos or Atom, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Fetch AI, Filecoin, Gala, Hedera, ICP, IOTA, Cadena, Moonbeam, Oasis, Polkadot, Quant, Solana, Stellar, Telcoin, Ultra or UOS, Uniswap, VeChain, XDC, and XRP. So we're going to look at the altcoin prices when Bitcoin is right there just before it collapsed, close to the April-May high before capitulation. Now, whether or not you like Bitcoin, I personally believe, not financial advice, that Bitcoin inevitably gets back up to this level. Do we do a double bottom? Do we create one more low? Or do we go right up there? Regardless of how we get there, I'm going off the assumption that we reach those levels, because I don't think crypto is going anywhere, and I think that's an absolute key level to reach yet again, 42,000. Remember that we still have a variety of open gaps on the CME futures, and you can type in these tickers, BTC1 exclamation point, BTC2 exclamation point, and you can see a variety of open gaps. Yes, we do have one under 10K. We also have one at 20,000. But we also have gaps above that we have yet to close, around 28,000 and 35,000. In plotting a fib, we can also see that 35K gap is very close to the 382, and the 236 is also very close to that 28K Bitcoin gap. So now let's dive into these alts. So I'll scroll through this slowly. If you want to take a look, we can see the April price for a variety of assets. Alliance Block, 21 cents. Algorand, 71 cents. API3, $4 plus. AVAX, 75 bucks. We had Filecoin at $19 and Fetch AI at 33 cents. And what's interesting is we're basically already at that level today, and Bitcoin is still around 23K. We had Hedera at about 19 cents. Moonbeam was almost 4 bucks. Roser Oasis was 22 cents. Let me fix this for XDC just so I can see these decimal places. So XDC was over 5 cents, and XRP was 75 cents. And looking at January's prices, or just last week, you guys already know. And let's check out the circulating supply changes between these assets and what the price of these tokens would be if they reached their April market cap. So for Alliance Block, the supply, according to CoinMarketCap, did not change. Algorand increased by 7%. So if ALBT Alliance Block reached the same market cap that it did during that April level before capitulation, that's over a 20-cent ALBT. You can see API3 supply increased by 94%, so it would only be just over 2 bucks. We can see Bitcoin really hasn't changed, just a 1% supply increase. You can see Avalanche increased by 17%, so it would be around 64 bucks if it reached that previous market cap. And the worst example in this list is Casper, and a lot of newbies are seeing this going, how did Casper's supply increase this much? And I wanted to include it in this list. Well, it's the same thing like most new projects, even Glimmer, which is another example that I'll show you. You can see when assets are relatively new, there are massive crashes. So this is Moonbeam. You can see crashed all the way down about 98%. And a lot of people will look at the supply and say, what the heck is happening? I also put out a Casper thread, and I'll go over this in another video and just going over the token utility, but more importantly, the resources to understand the economics. For the past year, Casper's supply increased massively, and we can see the good news is now 93% of total supply is now in circulation. Whereas alts like Alliance Block, although its market cap is so small and it does have incredible upside even at these levels over the long term, you can see only 23%. So over the coming years, there's definitely more supply that can enter the market. So the way I see Casper is the band-aid is finally ripped off. And I provided some links for the Casper economics in this thread, which goes over the actual unlock schedule, and this would explain why the supply increased so quickly over the past year. You can also see right here the tradable supply by tranche. The band-aid has been ripped off and we've gone through the worst of it, whereas there's other projects that still have another 50, 70, 80% to be leaked, whereas Casper is now 93% in circulation. So we can see Chainlink increased by 8%, DAG, according to CoinMarketCap, has not changed, so that April market cap would bring DAG back up to 17 cents. Ethereum increased by 1%, Fetch actually increased by just under 10%, and you can see 30 cents. Now Gala is still around 6 cents. I think it could be a great year for Gala, and we can see if it reached its previous market capitalization, that's a 19-cent Gala. And I can do more videos pointing out a few things I like on some of these charts, but let's keep moving. We can see HBAR around 15 cents. And in previous videos, we did explain this for HBAR. We actually just used a different date for Bitcoin, but it shows that same key level. You can see KDA increased by 26%, and previously it was $5.41. Whereas today, if it were to hit that same market cap, that is $4.27, which to me is still insane upside. You can see Rose, similar to HBAR, around 13-14 cents. We can see QNT has not changed, and it's sitting well above that level today. We can see XLM back up to 18 cents. Telcoin at 0.005. We even have Ultra or UOS up to 86 cents. That's nice upside. VeChain increased its supply by 12%, so over 5 cents would be awesome. XTC, I do not believe it changed, and we can see over 5 cents or 5.5. And even XRP still 71 cents. And then also finishing up with Glimmer, this one actually increased the most out of this entire list. And Moonbeam's April price was $3.86, whereas today around that same market capitalization it'd be around $1.60. Now looking at Fetch, we can see this was an absolute leader in the market from the low back in December. This bad boy did over a 5x, 471% increase, technically a 5.7x return, from 5.3 cents to as high as just about almost 31 cents. And it's a real possibility. There's a lot of altcoins that are still in this structure down here or forming another flag up here. So in my opinion, not financial advice, I always believe in the market having leaders and laggards. And if you remember when Bitcoin was actually climbing since its March 2020 low, there were other alts that actually started climbing months before Bitcoin, leading the market. And some people used those altcoins that were running months before Bitcoin and Ethereum as a leading indicator for the altcoin market for others that were lagging. And once again for HBAR, I know there's going to be people upset. I'm just pointing out the market cap at that previous level. And that's when Bitcoin was around 40K. Now, is it possible when Bitcoin reaches $40,000 that HBAR just does not care about market capitalization and it actually goes up to much higher retracements? Absolutely. I just thought this would be an interesting comparison because we have to keep in mind the increase in circulating supply. Some of these projects for this year, although it might not be as bad as the recent bear market, might be increasing their supply by just a bit. And each project has a different token release schedule, and you can typically find that in their white paper or on their website and looking at their roadmap. So drawing a fib for HBAR from the high to the low, remember what's interesting is that Fetch actually reached the 236 all the way up here. And another confluence is turning on the 500-day moving average. That's actually where Fetch hit to perfection all the way up here. That's around 14 to 16 cents, a similar zone. And let me make sure I pull up Fetch as well and just give you an example. So en route to the 236, and then what's most important is that 500-day MA. You can see hitting to perfection. So I think it's super interesting. Even looking at QNT, it actually surpassed that level and went higher, and even drawing a fib from its all-time high price to the low, it actually went well past the 236. Where did it go? Instead of Fetch, which is still playing around here, QNT retraced much higher, almost to the 50% retracement. And a few other things for alts like HBAR. This does not mean that HBAR has to stop there. I want to emphasize that there are open gaps above, even around the 702 level, around 40 cents. And if we break through that level on the macro, then we're likely en route to creating a new all-time high price. And when you take a look at Casper, you can see it has a very similar bottoming structure that OGN had during the previous cycle. And for everybody that remembers when we were going over this back in 2021 and we took a heavy position, we can see a clear cup and handle, double bottom, hits the 702, rejects, backtest 236, and then en route all the way up to the 4.236, even wicking right on that level right there. And if we remove that as well and just look at the cup and handle structure, we could take the height of this cup and then clone that same measurement and draw from the bottom of that handle and actually measure a target. And taking a measured move from the bottom of this handle right there, and that would actually get you that target, which worked out beautifully before a pullback. But in this case, during the bull run starting, OGN just did not care. It had the Coinbase listing. It had some new things going on with its stablecoin. Its roadmap was popping off, and of course, Bitcoin was pushing hard in the beginning of 2021. And this did over a 3,000% pump. And I know a lot of people don't like fractals, that's completely fine, but you can see different bottoming structures like Render as well, and comparing it to Casper. I know the tokenomics are different, but you can see this structure and then popping hard, taking out that previous high, or at the very least challenging it. As you can see, the double bottom for Casper, a very similar double bottom for Render before it got that move to the upside. And also remember, keeping an eye on that 500-day MA, remember that Fetch also hit that level. I'm definitely keeping an eye on that for Render. And what's cool about Gala is now we can see the 500-day MA actually forming, and it's right there. So there's not enough historical data to give us a big, beautiful line, but we can see that actually would take us up to about 14 cents. And now looking at Gala, if it reached its previous market cap, we can see that would actually be a 19-cent Gala. Let's also draw a fib from high to low for Gala. So getting pretty close to this retracement is a very interesting level all the way across. And here's Alliance Block up here, so currently the MA, which it'll be coming down as well, is let's just say like 26 cents. And since Alliance Block already did about almost a 3.5x return, you can see a 250% increase. Can it keep running? Can it do what Fetch and some others have done and they just don't stop? Absolutely. But I'm going to place more of my bigger bets in other assets that are forming a similar structure like this. Notice Casper was forming this structure. Remember, Render or RNDR was also forming the same structure, but actually came weeks behind Alliance Block. And we have Casper down here just chilling, a potential setup for the cup and handle, but we need the buy volume to come in. So I'm definitely looking for some lower caps because remember, Alliance Block did a 3 to 5x and now its market cap is still only $30 million. That is virtually nothing. So it definitely does have a lot of upside for the future, even if you consider the circulating supply increase with utility over the long term. So to be clear, I was not bashing Alliance Block whatsoever. It has been an absolute killer, performing very well. I just wanted to point out for the years ahead, there still is some supply that could be increased. But in the scheme of things, the total supply is 1 billion. That's nothing. That's pretty small, so I don't think it's going to have some type of crazy downward pressure on price over the long term. And what's cool is we're seeing some assets, even QNT being a leader, it actually surpassed that April high like nothing. We can see kind of sitting around that level today. But it went as high as actually all the way up to December 2021 thus far. So if we're looking at other assets, even XRP, and looking at that level with a Bitcoin retracement to get back up to that April high, it could be anywhere from 70 cents all the way up to 90 cents. And we do have gaps above. And QNT reached up to its December-November high in 2021. That is over a $1 XRP. And I also have high hopes for Algorand. I know after FTX, it was not fun at all. I get it. Even looking at the 500-day moving average coming down, I believe ALGO, HBAR, Casper, XRP, a lot of these alts reclaim these levels and inevitably create a new all-time high price with utility. And remember that iTrustCapital is linked in the top of the YouTube video description, and you can create a free account here to trade and invest in crypto 100% tax-free. They used to have a monthly fee back in the day, but now it is officially $0. So I have a Roth IRA in crypto and precious metals here with iTrustCapital, meaning that all gains and future profits are 100% tax-free, paying 0% in capital gains. Whereas in the United States, short-term or long-term capital gains, you're looking at 10, 15, or even 40% of your profits being taxed and paid to Uncle Sam. So this is linked in the YouTube video description. You don't have to use my link, but if you do use my link and you fund your account, you also get a $100 funding reward. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate hitting the like button and subscribing. Let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, my link tree is linked right in the top of this YouTube video description with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.